rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are just returned from executive session, and is someone still there? And Kate will be reading the school mission statement. Thank you.
Engage, explore, empower. We want our students to cherish our small island community while applying and expanding their learning about, understanding of, and engagement with the wider world. To do this, they must be ethical and moral individuals, respectful and responsible communicators, creative and analytical thinkers, knowledgeable and literate readers, writers, mathematicians, and scientists, participants in and audiences for art, drama, music, athletics, and other artistic, cultural, and social activities, skilled and successful workers and consumers, and committed and active citizens.
Thank you, Kate. Item 5 is a public hearing on the proposed use of the 2020 repair reserve. So we will now conduct a public hearing on the proposed use of the 2020 repair reserve. I therefore declare this hearing open at 6:03 p.m. And I'd like to introduce Mike Dunning and Walter Brigham, who are going to give a brief overview of the proposed use of the 2020 repair reserve.
Hopefully very brief. Okay, so we're requesting the allocation of $201,499.74 from the 2020 Repair Reserve Fund for the purpose of security upgrades. This project comes on the heels of the security survey performed by the Suffolk County Police Department, Department of Homeland Security, and Sergeant Randolph from Borough's Shelter Island Police Department. We're fast tracking this here a little bit because we have the availability of, there's an availability of a $10,000 discount if a purchase order is issued before the end of this month. So we're trying to get this all done now.
There you go, look at that.
Well, technology got you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Scope of the project, to repair and integrate the following components to the school security system. This is in a lockdown situation. All of these systems will work together to protect and inform building occupants. Building lockdown pull stations, also known as panic buttons. We can have as many as 100 of these spread throughout the building. Strobe and audible alarm system. An internal PA system, an exterior door entry system, interior and exterior camera and motion sensor system, and we're going to touch on that a little bit later on in the presentation. Front door man trap system, and that's just, I don't know if you're familiar with the man trap. Everybody's familiar with the man trap thing? That's another way to describe our entry here, where we have the vestibule right out between the outside and the lobby, where a visitor will come in. They're basically locked in there, kind of locked in there, and they can't get into the building until they're buzzed in and their identification is verified, and then they get buzzed in. Interior door auto lock system. The classroom doors will lock automatically. Alarm communication system, phone, email, text, rave. This is to notify emergency personnel quickly and effectively in real time. All right, project goals. We utilize research complete with multiple vendors and visits to other districts. We've actually visited a few districts to see what they're all doing. We kind of put this together based on that. To improve and increase the physical building security, upgrade existing security technology to provide real-time information for staff and emergency services, emergency responders during an ongoing emergency event, and to use security system information proactively to prevent incidents. Also to integrate all school security solutions to work together. So this is how, in the planning, this is how we see it unfolding at this point. Phase 1 will be taking place from now until August of this year, and that's these things you see here, with installing the wiring, purchasing the equipment for the project, installation of the new camera system, installation of the alarm hubs, and exterior door controllers, and submit the plans to NYSED, New York State Department of Education Facility Planning Division, for permitting for Phase 2 and Phase 3. Phase 2 would be that man trap, complete the enhanced lockdown alert system, and all the infrastructure installs. Phase 3 would be to complete the, and that's going to be the 25-26 school year. Phase 3, which would be the following year, 26-27 school year, would be to complete the interior door and interior door lock system, and to complete the intercom install and integration. This is all based on, this time frame of the 26-27 is based on the New York State approvals of a DASNY grant and also approvals of the project itself. Take the funding part.
Sure. You stand?
You can do whatever you want.
I'll just sit. Mike's got the podium. I'll go there. Yeah. Okay.
Standing's better for the camera.
It's better for the camera.
You know?
I'm just going to speak a little bit about the project funding. Although in Mike's mind, phase 1, 2, and 3 are very clear in terms of the order they're going to happen, the time frames. The project funding is not quite as clear in terms of the order it's going to happen, because once again, things are going to depend a lot on New York State approval, both for for DASNY grant, for monies coming in and the way things take place. The goals of the project would still be the same, and we would look to phase 1, which is right now, would be the 24-25 budget, which we've used our funds to do the wiring infrastructure that's needed for the upcoming projects, and additional money from the 25-26 budget for phase 1. Phase 2 would be the DASNY funding, which would be coming from the state. There's some timelines to make that happen.
Walter, can I just point
I was
out
going to let
to the board, that's the grant, the $250,000 grant that Fred Beal secured for us at the end of the thing. I just didn't know if you were.
The
The
DAS,
DASNY, yes.
The DASNY
yeah.
grant, so are those incremental payments that we're sure of?
You get it in one chunk, Margaret, and you sort of have to spend it to get it back, but there's multiple layers and steps to get to that step where you get the payment.
But we're
which-
sure of that money because of Fred Thiel, right now?
Yes.
we have
yeah.
access to the money, but like, so they also, before they disperse the funds, they have to approve the work that we're doing?
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
And none of those funds affect phase 1, which is kind of like the infrastructure piece of everything that would go into place. And then phase 3, if everything is on time, would be to complete the interior doors, lock, and the intercom system using DASNY funding, or if there's still additional funds, we would have to budget some in the 26-27 budget. That's why the asterisk is there. We're just not sure the time frame for the DASNY funds. Key additional features. Want me to stay here, Mike? Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Go for it. So some key additional features here. We've been informed when you do the presentation not to use the exact models and equipment that you're using in the building. This picture is from another local district for how the panic buttons look. Ours will not look identical to that, but they'll be very similar in nature with a protective cover on the outside that can be lifted off and the button can be pushed.
Walter, you think you're one in each classroom, right?
As of phase 1, and for the funds we're asking for now, we've included 100 panic buttons in that purchase. It doesn't mean we're limited to 100. We could expand beyond there.
Yeah.
We just figured that's a good number to start because that would cover all the classes and the hallway
It's
areas.
spaced out in the hallways and
Well,
public areas.
one of the interesting things we've learned through our research going to meet districts and whatnot, you know, there was the talk of the portable button on the card. Every district that's using that is having multiple problems with that.
Much of the problem has to do with your networking infrastructure. That thing has to be within range. And if a microwave is on or something is going on, you could have issues with that. That's why we overloaded with fixed
these
locations
ones.
as opposed
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the portable. Good. Don't click. I'll go back. Well, you went backwards, Mike. There we go.
I was practicing.
There we go. So the other thing we discussed really briefly was to talk about tools that help identify threats before they become incidents. And I just brought up a generic picture of how the camera system works. You see the green pads on there? It's showing you where motion is actually happening. So if someone was moving through the building or something was happening, you can see the path they took. So if you're trying to follow an incident live, you know what camera to go to right away. And the biggest part about the system is, although it's centralized, meaning we have a centralized location we can access it from, the infrastructure of the system is not. There's no one thing you could take down to take out the whole system. It all operate independently of each other, but still be able to communicate with each other. Cover that good?
Is this a system that can be connected to the PD as well?
So one of the reasons, and Mike, if I'm speaking out of turn, just let me know. I think the big reason we chose, but after looking at all this, this is the one we went with, is this is a big infrastructure we can attach just about anything to.
Yeah.
Everything we've looked into. In addition to setting up contacts in any way we want contacts to happen when an incident happens, directly to the police, directly to anywhere, we can make all of that happen with this very modern, very flexible infrastructure.
Great.
How does it provide, or how does it identify possible threats? Is this what you would be imaged? Just an example of a type of?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can,
Get the person of interest thing.
correct.
For example, if someone shows up on camera that's
Not supposed to be in this
never been on
building?
camera before and is carrying something or something, it would shoot an alert.
If there's
at
somebody
it.
that we said you're not allowed in here anymore, we can upload their photo into the system and we can get an alert. that
Yeah.
they're-
As soon as they got on the premises, we would know and be alerted. Instantly.
Even if there's someone in the building that we need to keep an eye on, we can upload their photo and we could track where they've been. Just married, you never know.
Many want to.
Right?
Yep. The biggest features that this newer system provides that the older ones didn't necessarily have the capabilities to do was get real-time information when an event is occurring to the people who need it, and information that's useful in an event. One of the things, and this is what we're talking about contacting the police, is the live links. Any type of event that happens with a panic button set off, we can use multiple different systems to contact both inside and outside the building for whoever needs to be contacted for specific incidents. And a big thing that happens is our building becomes a motion sensor in a lockdown situation, meaning you can see that graphic, which could go out to all the emergency personnel and the police, where once the building's locked down, they can see a graph of the school and know where motion is happening at any particular time in the building without having to look at all 50 or 60 cameras at once, provide them information they need to help them out in an emergency
Because
situation.
we're not moving, we teach the
Correct,
kids
right.
to stop.
We're all
So
hiding
anything
away.
moving is
The
probably.
cameras become motion detectors at that point.
Right.
And you can look and see. There'll only be one green dot on the.
Did you make a Harry Potter?
Oh my God.
Harry Potter software that you use.
It's fine.
If they have the cloak of invisibility.
I believe that's it.
That's it? Any other questions?
And so this first thing that you'd be voting on now, the repair reserve, would basically set this in motion financially for the start of it anyway.
Okay, we will open the floor to comments, but before that, are there any members of the Board of Education who have questions or wish to make comments?
Just one question. Being that it's like phased into 3 years and you're laying out the infrastructure in the first year, wiring, all of that, does it seem like it'll be compatible if the technology advances?
That's what the beauty of this infrastructure is. It's an incredibly modern infrastructure with all the different ways you could feed information in. SIP technology, SIP communication, text, email, cameras, phones, strobes, alarm hubs, any type of system that can be integrated with any other modern system will feed into this. And this is industry standard technology. It is, the company using is mostly business-based, so they've been doing this for a while, but this is the the platform that allows us to do that, so that 10 years from now, and this equipment is designed to last 10 years. As a matter of fact, the purchase includes the warranty and support for 10 years in this whole first phase right now. Anything you can think of in the next 10 years will be able to integrate with this system.
Anthony, I think it's a great question because
It is,
that was
yeah.
the main reason why you guys went with
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
Some of the other systems were not, so.
We saw a lot of put together systems
Yeah.
where you had the couple pieces you want, but integrating anything new, you could integrate maybe something from one vendor or something, or maybe this would go. This is not that. This allows us to bring in anything and gives us a modern infrastructure for moving forward.
Will it provide any, like, layer of security incrementally in each phase?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, yeah.
And this may not be a question for you, more for Brian, but, so the money requested from the repair reserve, can we know how much we have that we're working with, that's being spent?
Yeah, the 200,000 there.
That's what they're requesting.
Yes,
Yeah, how much do we have that we're,
in the repair reserve.
yeah.
That's pretty much what we have in there now, the repair reserve is
yeah.
about that, yeah.
I have that number if
Yeah.
you'd like that.
It's just about that, Kate.
Yeah, it's,
But then we will replenish that again after this budget cycle. There'll be more money to put in there that we would use on the project in the future.
there is still money in that fund if there's an emergency repair that needs to occur.
Any other comments? Okay, are there any comments from the public that you wish to make at this time? Do my colleagues on the Board of Education have anything else that they would like to add? I would like to add a huge thank you to you gentlemen, because it's clear that you have done more than just a little bit of homework, and it's, in my opinion, the most important thing, unfortunately, that we do. It's that first layer. I wish we could do all of it yesterday, but we greatly appreciate the time and all the knowledge here. I think with not only the comedic routine of your presentation, you
Not
two-
planned, by the way.
I know. No, I know. It was very Abbott style. No, the two of you together, you work beautifully together in so many ways, and this is the most important thing you're doing, in my opinion. So thank you.
Yeah, just say one more thing.
Yes.
It was great working with you guys, bringing in an outside entity, Suffolk County PD coming in and really giving us a different look on everything. It was great that you guys took that input and were able to create a system that really works for us, which is awesome, meeting the safety standards, which is a huge priority for me, as well as working this into where we're talking about possibly going out for a bond, and we don't have to do that, and being responsible to our taxpayers, which is great, and spacing this out over 3 years, securing the funding with Fred Thiel. So thank you everybody that was involved in that, because that's a huge, we want a lot, but we have to be responsible about getting it, and we did that. We met both those goals, so
That's
great
great.
job.
Thank you. Okay, seeing that no one else wishes to participate, I'd like to make a motion to approve and or accept the following action. 5.1.
So moved. Second?
Is that Margaret?
Margaret and Tracy.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Tracy. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any recusals? Motion carries. I hereby declare this hearing closed at 6:21. And we will now begin the budget adoption and regular business portions of this meeting. Thank you, Walter.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, Walter.
Bye, Mr. Mooney.
All right, see you, Liam. Get the homework done.
Thanks, everybody. Okay, item 6, budget presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Kathy. So this is our, hard to believe, our first budget presentation of the year already. It seems like the school year just started. And here we are with our first budget presentation. We've actually been working on this, really though, since late last May. As soon as we passed the prior budget, we're getting on this with our business office, with Mr. Brigham, with our business consultant, and our theme for this year is safety first, smart spending, and achieving excellence, which we believe is a foundation for success. And today, it will be sort of an overall budget orientation, some facts about our budget, and then we get a little bit into the administrative budget. Just to list some of our accomplishments, the district is achieving ongoing substantial progress. In 2024, we reached the top 18% ranking in the U.S. News and World Report. And niche.com, we reached the top 15% in the whole country in best college prep. A lot of that has to do with the AP courses we offer, with the college courses we offer, with our, I just heard of another student today who's graduating college a year early, which is really nice. We've had sustained continuous improvement on our state exams in ELA and math. We have continuous exceptional performance on our Regents exams. Our college course levels, we are continually offering new ones and more of them. We're implementing innovative ELA, math, and now in our third year of our curriculum improvement, have moved into science. And we've started, as I've mentioned before, we started at the elementary level, and we are starting to bring that into the middle school level with the goal of getting that into the high school level and all grades too. And as Jen has reported on, that's something that we're going to continue to look at each and every year. We're currently in the second year of our strategic plan. We're focusing on the next generation learning standards this year, increasing the availability of subs. We're working on a school-wide service project. We've worked to try to increase parental involvement and also to work on our outreach to our ENL community. The process we go through, the administration consults with the teachers and staff to determine the programmatic wishes and goals for the upcoming school year. We examine the value and efficacy of our existing programs to see if there are any changes needed. We gather pricing, contractual obligations, best estimates, and compiling the spending plan. We monitor potential changes to the state aid formulas to determine how the district can fund the ideal spending plan. There's more uncertainty this year probably than ever before because that hold harmless is still an item for discussion, although it does, from what we've been hearing recently, sound like we should have good news there. So the Board of Education, in these meetings and the communications I send, reviews these decisions to determine if they represent the proper direction for the district and its taxpayers. The administration goal is to develop a budget that maintains our district programs for our kids, to design a budget that builds on prior community support and values fiscal restraint. And essentially, what we want to do here, and what Anthony was alluding to, is we want to develop a budget that provides our children with the best education possible, but also always keeping in mind the most efficient cost to our taxpayers possible. So, some budgeting basics for everyone. We go through this every year. There's two sides to every budget. There's the expenditure side and the revenue side. The expenditure side is what is voted on by the community in May, and the revenue plan is determined by our Board of Education. Both the expenditure and revenue budget represent best estimates as to what our district needs will be next year. Excuse me. This is an aspirational document and one that continuously evolves throughout the year as plans are achieved or contingencies become reality. So there are a lot of challenges. You see it in town government, you see it in county government, state government. Costs just seem to go up in everything, in every way. And they're fixed costs, and a lot of times there's nothing we can do about it. One example I wanted to give you was real property insurance costs have been growing every year. So there's a 2% cap, yet look at how much the real property insurance has gone up over the last couple of years. 3 years ago, 21%. Last year, 15%. This year, 6%. And yet again, we have that 2% cap there. So the 25-26 cost is only an estimate and could rise even higher than that 6.61%. Once NYSER, who is our insurance company, determines the rate. So you have that, you have transportation costs, which we were seeing 15% rises on our busing. You see costs to borrow money. Just everywhere you look, costs are going up. But so how are our salary costs calculated? Most district employees are employed, I think except 3, through a union contract, or 4. The annual raises are determined through a negotiation, a collective bargaining process, and cannot be changed. Some union contracts have provisions for raises on years of experience. as teachers or staff members get more education and other negotiated methods. So for our administration and general support, we are proposing, as of right now, and again, these are all subject to change, a 3% increase. Our operations and maintenance budget, a 1.25% increase. Instructional oversight and development, 3.54% increase. Our general education, a 4.26% increase. And our special education, wellness, extracurricular and athletics, a 4.04% increase. For a total, in this part of the budget, of a 3.82% increase. Our Board of Education District Clerk and annual meeting. As I hope everyone here knows, our Board of Education members are unpaid volunteers. They do it for the fun of it, right? And so the board has the primary responsibility to adopt district policy, approve the hiring and dismissal of district employees, and to oversee this budget, and to oversee the public's tax dollars and assets. The district clerk, Ms. Dunning, serves as the board secretary and records the official actions of the board, and the annual meeting is held in each May. Central administration is myself and the operations of everyone in my office. The business office we have here, which is Debbie is part of, oversees the purchasing, payroll, benefits, debt service, revenue receipt, central treasury, auditing compliance, and real property insurance. These two offices are assisted by outside entities, including our external auditor, who does an annual review of our district finances and monetary operations, and we go through that through May and June every year. The board gets a report on that. Our claims auditor is an outside agent of the Board of Ed who judges the correctness of each payment made by the district prior to it being finalized. So every single payment that's made, our claims auditor is looking at, someone that's totally independent of the school district. And then also we have legal services. We have legal experts who advise the district on all matters involving the law, and that for us is Ingram & Smith, who do great work for us. So for right now, the Board of Ed, we are projecting a 6.9% increase. Our central administration at 8.76% increase. Our business office and treasury a 1.47% increase. Our auditing and legal a 5.25% increase. Our purchasing personnel a 3.89% increase. Our real property insurance, as you saw there, 10% increase, which is subject to change when we get the number from NYSER. And then our BOCES administration, a 3.89% increase. And again, that is, we don't get that final number from BOCES until a little later in the budget process. And this part of the budget, we're projecting a 5.45% increase. One of those things that keep going up, the contribution rate for pensions. All employees of our district are required to participate in the New York State Teachers Retirement System or the Employees Retirement System, otherwise known as TRS or ERS, as you probably heard it. So the teachers are obviously the teachers and administrators, the ERS are clerical, custodial, and other support staff. The systems, the ERS and TRS, set the contribution rates, and the district is required to pay the product of an employee's salary multiplied by the relevant contribution rate. And so further information on TRS and ERS costs will be presented as salaries are finalized. But as you could see, the contribution rate there, while it dipped down there, that was in, was it 2001? Yeah. Since then, it's gone up pretty significantly every year, at a peak of 17, but hovering somewhere around 10% over the past 20 years. So we can count on that as probably a fixed cost. So you can see there the TRS contribution rates for 24-25 was 10%, 25-26 we're estimating between 9.5% and 10% for our TRS. For ERS, it's set already. The ERS gets set first at 17.8% increase. Social Security remains the same, and that's not just for education, 7.65%. So what does that mean for the budget? For the TRS, we're projecting a 5.87% increase, and for the ERS, we're projecting almost a 30% increase based on our employees for that. Social Security, about a 3.66% increase. So why are the costs going up if rates are declining? Even though the rates are going down, the rates look like they're going down, they're still going up, but at a lower rate. It's like inflation. You know, they say like, oh, inflation is down. No, it is down, the rate of inflation is down, but you're still paying a higher percentage each month. So, due to the increase in salaries, the district's mandatory contributions to TRS will unfortunately always increase. Our health insurance, another thing that always seems to go up, although we're getting a little break on this year. We participate in NISHIP, which the vast majority of school districts on Long Island do, along with New York State, hundreds of local governments across the state. NISHIP rates are set in December for the following 12 months each year. We make a good, so they don't follow the school year, they follow a calendar year. So we have to make a good faith estimate as to what the increase will be needed in the health insurance costs from the school year of January through June. And as you can see that, so when I started as a teacher, the family rate was $12,000. It's now this year $40,000. So, you know, and if you look at the yearly increase going back from years and years and years, you know, you're looking at pretty significant increases. This year, though, as I said, we caught a break. It's supposed to remain somewhat flat. We're not sure on that yet, but it's looking very good. But if you look at the year before, 6%, 14%, 12%, 2%. Did go down the 1 year, 2%, 3%, 12%, 4%, 5%. Again, all these rates that are above the mandatory 2% cap. And that's another depiction showing how the rates go up over the years. So our contribution rates are negotiated in the contract and cannot be changed except through changing the contract. All active employees taking the health insurance pay a portion of the cost, which is about 20% for everyone. Most retirees, however, do not pay a portion of the cost. The district must also budget for unemployment claims, workers' comp claims, and associated benefit costs. So if you look here, we're projecting for our medical insurance to go up for employees 3.62%. The waiver to go up 14%. That's people who choose not to take the health insurance. They get a waiver. Believe it or not, we like to see that percentage number higher because we're saving money. Anyone that takes the waiver, we're saving money than people who take the full insurance. And then for our retirees, you'll see that the cost is projected to go up 3.14% increase. So again, that's just a fixed cost of the district that we're paying. You know, people that are currently retired, we're paying $870,000 for a year. The full share cost currently for active employees, if you're single and you're only taking it for one person, it's about $18,000, and for a family, about $40,000. Our next steps for the budget, we'll continue to monitor developments and educational needs. They change constantly, as Jen could probably tell you. We have a new kid coming in the district or a current district student that has additional needs that comes up. So we're going to monitor that constantly. We'll continue to monitor any changes in the proposed state aid. Again, we're hopeful we at least will keep what we got last year in the state aid. They're expected to adopt the budget on or before April 1. This used to actually happen, but it never happens anymore. So I'm sure that it will not happen by April 1st. The budget presentations will continue following this schedule. About a month from now, will be another budget presentation. And then 2 weeks out, and then we start going into the 2-week period. February 25th, we'll do a budget presentation and the tax levy limit, so you get both sides of the budget that day. March 10th is the budget overview and adjustments. April 7th, the budget adoption by our Board of Education. Then May 12th is the budget hearing at a Board of Education hearing. And then May 20th is the big day, the budget vote in the gym from 12 to 9 p.m. Any questions from the board?
Good start.
Thank you. Questions, audience?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Okay, item 7, are there any visitor questions specific to the agenda? Okay, and item 8, consent agenda, I need a motion to approve and or accept the following agenda items. 8.1.
So moved.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Anthony. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any recusals? Motion carries. Item 9, correspondence, we have none, except that we were given a very generous and lovely holiday gift by one of our parents who is present in the audience. Ms. Molly Kendall, thank you so much. We have a big gift certificate to Stars to use at our next gathering. We sometimes gather after we pass the budget, so maybe we'll get a big cake. That was really, really thoughtful.
Oh, I appreciate you. Very nice.
We've been at some of our big meetings. She felt we needed that story. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Student liaison report. Mr. Leo.
Yeah,
Thank you for
so,
being here.
of course, I'm super, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, just like super excited to tell you guys what happened. I thought that it went amazing, and if we could follow like a similar format to what we did this year with, you know, we're constantly moving around, so even if...
The reindeer games?
Yeah, the reindeer games. Reindeer games. When you're constantly moving around, you kind of can't like goof off or go somewhere else. And it's like everybody, it's like, I wouldn't say forced to participate, but nudged. And with everybody enjoying it. I felt
It was awesome, yes.
there was like maybe 2 people in the stand that didn't want to play, and I don't know, people were happy about it, and I'm happy about that. Really, you put like the work in for it, and especially with the firehouse, I thought that was amazing how they let us use the space. But it's like everybody really enjoyed it. The food was great, and like thank you so much for the cafeteria on making us that lasagna. I had some pretty good lasagna. And it all went well, yeah.
Great, Leo.
And I wish I could say more for student council, but we didn't have a meeting coming back because I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Yeah, off college visit, but we still do have things planned, and hopefully everything goes great.
Thank you, Leo.
Of course.
Thank you, Leo. You're a joy to listen to.
Thank you.
Okay, bless you. Item 11 is a presentation not requiring board approval, and it is our Employee of the Month for December 2024.
Can we ask Chris to come to the center here? I don't know if you can do both.
Can the Employee of the Month bill himself?
Oh, is that the...
Yeah.
So Chris, I would like to present you with the Employee of the Month. Julie's gonna get a picture. I gotta get a picture for you for Todd too. For the,
Yeah.
and I'll read you. Is that good?
And then your fans.
Yeah.
your photos.
Your mom.
Do you want to get in? You want to get in with him?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Great, thank you. Chris, I just want to say a couple things about you. Sure. I just wanted to say, Chris, that when I think of Chris, and I think everyone would probably that he works here with him would say the same thing. He's a guy that if you ask him to do anything, he's going to do it for you. Like whether it's like a little ask or like a big ask, like and it doesn't have to be in his wheelhouse or whatever it is. Like he's just a great guy that wants to like help our kids do whatever they can do, but also like help us too as staff members and whatnot. He's an award-winning SITV producer. You know, so you think of him as the shop guy and doing all that stuff. He's also producing this really good stuff on SITV, and we're winning awards at universities because of it. He's fixed a boat with the class during a pandemic, nonetheless, which was really cool.
We were outside, it was fun.
I came back from lunch the other day, and he was taking a car apart. He had a wheel off a car, showing kids how to change brakes on the car, which I thought was really cool. He teaches our driver's ed program. He's one of the first people here every morning driving with our kids. He teaches our woodshop program, which I think really is second to none, Chris. I think the stuff you do in there is amazing. You know, and then you see them with middle schoolers shooting rockets off into the air, loving it, and doing these races with the cars they make. You know, saving the eggs. I always get to go in there. It's really good stuff, Chris. You know, I think he has a lot of credibility and whatnot with our community too. They go to him directly. Like the churches go to him, the people, random people throughout the politicians go to him to build things. And he does stuff for charities. He's building benches for people who have lost, family members and whatnot. And half of the stuff, probably 90% of the stuff he doesn't tell you about. You hear it like third hand, because he doesn't brag. You're like an old school, wonderful asset to our school, Chris. You're always a guy that says yes, and most importantly, you're a wonderful teacher and really loved by the students and the staff here. So congratulations from me, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much. If I just say anything, I'll keep it brief. I know. You guys have always been very supportive ever since I got here. You hear this all the time, that Shelter Island is a special place, and it really is, okay, from the bottom to the top. When I saw this, I was like, oh, me? Mainly due to the fact that I know we have such good staff members here. And the Board of Ed is always helpful, administration is helpful, everyone. Mike, the crew, everybody, and down to the kids, like Leo here. That's why we do it. And I still have, and it's the relationships too, especially here. I still talk to, kids that I taught 9 years ago on, a friendly basis. So they'll text me or whatever and say, hey, what's going on? And it's a really special place to be, and I'm happy to be here. So thank you for this. It's a great honor.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I just want to add quick that it's a great pick, of course. Mr. Conradi knows I always brag that I was on his hiring committee, and so I feel personally responsible. He's here, but it was you impressed from day one, and you have a great kindness and connection with kids. And Dr. Dolger stole my line. How dare you? The yes, you're all about the yes or sure, and everything seemed as if it's no big deal. And I think officially one day we will stop saying universally, oh, he's the shop, it's shop teacher. You've taken that to a whole another level of yes, and just a very, very quick, I think it was in your first week here, the story goes that you went down the hallway to a study hall where a bunch of very talented young guys were just doing study hall, and kind of went, you, and you, come with me. And you drew them into your corridor and got them busy doing things out in the community and working on engines and giving them some passion with the familiarity they had with a lot of things. And I'll always remember that, so kudos and congratulations.
And I'll add, you also stepped up to be the coach of the new soccer team.
Oh, yes.
And what a way to start off a new team for the school with such an awesome, what a success story. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay. Yes, okay. Moving on to item 12 is personnel. I need a motion to approve and or accept the recommendations of the superintendent on the following personnel actions 12.1 through 12.9.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Kate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any recusals? Motion carries. On to program. I need a motion to approve and or accept the recommendations of the superintendent on the following program actions 13.1 through 13.2.
So moved.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Jackie, for continuing to push through.
Found those policies.
So many policies. Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any recusals? Motion carries. Finance, I need a motion to approve and or accept the recommendations of the superintendent on the following finance actions, 14.1 through 14.2.
So moved.
Thanks, Margaret. Thank you. Anthony? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Recusals? Motion carries. Item 15 is business. I need a motion to approve and or accept the recommendations of the superintendent on the following business actions, 15.1.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you, Margaret.
No, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy, sorry.
She's not a good
I'm having a problem. We don't spend enough time together. Any discussion?
What are they going to say? Is that for a show, the 9 to 12 New York City field trip?
I can't remember. You told me.
I know.
It's very much split up for each grade. Like
Yes,
each grade
it's-
will do something
that's
different.
right.
right.
Yeah, the ninth.
Like last year, 10th grade, we went to the museum. 9th grade went to, it was the science museum. 11th grade, I'm not completely sure. 9/11 Memorial. And then, I don't remember. one
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of
That was the other one. I was there.
Of course you were.
And Disney.
And Disney, yeah.
And Stronghold.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So it's similar, it's the same trip.
Yeah. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any recusals? Motion carries. Facility, we have none. We have no items for consideration. We have no old business. Mr. Galuccio is on the road for section 11. Section 11? For section 11.
Yes.
For section 11. So our assistant superintendent report, Mrs. Bryla.
Hello, everyone. So I have an update on several aspects of our curriculum. First of all, starting with science, Christina Lesh held a parent focus group meeting for our science review on Thursday, January 9th. 5 parents signed up and 2 parents attended. I believe you were one of them. Okay, so and then for those parents who were not able to participate in the parent focus group, we did put together a survey with her that went out today via email so that parents could also provide feedback in terms of how they view our science curriculum, science department, how their kids kind of feel about science so that we can use that as part of our curriculum review process. So if you have the opportunity, please fill that out if you can. She will also be back, Ms. Lesh will also be back in the district on Monday, January 27th and January 28th to continue with looking at our science curriculum review process, specifically the data, region scores, things like that, assessment results. She's also going to be working with the elementary on their literacy curriculum. So as we continue to move forward with different departments, we continue to still move forward in terms of like things that we've already done. So we're not done with literacy, we're still doing that. We're not done with math, we're still working on all of that, and then we're just bringing science into it. And speaking of literacy, on last Tuesday, I attended a conference that was held by the New York State Education Department on the pre-kindergarten through 3rd grade literacy instructional best practices. And as part of a new state law, all school districts will be required to review their literacy curriculum in these grade levels by September. The purpose of this conference was to provide school districts with an evidence-based guide to use when reviewing local school district literacy curriculum and instruction for evidence and scientifically based reading instruction prior to submitting their report in September. I told Dr. Dolger this was one of very few conferences that I sat there and I said, we have this. This is not a problem for us at all. I think we are way ahead of other districts just by sitting there and listening to questions and things like that, because the guide that they provided, our new curriculum, already checks all those boxes. I sent all the information to Christina. She's like, we're in great shape. We went through all this, so we are going to have no problem with this new state mandate and report. And we actually are in the process, because it is pre-K through grade 3, so part of our focus has been kindergarten through grade 3, but we had already said this year we're focusing on preschool. So Christina will be working with the preschool teachers to look at the program we're currently using, and then use the guide and whatever else she has to make determinations for next steps moving forward, because we may want to add another layer to our preschool curriculum. But all in all, I came out of that conference feeling really good where we are. And again, I've said this numerous times, the amount of work that we have done as a district in terms of curriculum has been huge over the last few years, and it's put us in a great place. So I was just really happy that this is like one of those things that we have to do now for September, and we're gonna have no problem completing it, so, yeah. Yeah.
No surprise, Mrs. Rogers. At the head of that, thank you very much. Our superintendent report, Dr. Dolger.
Okay, so Happy New Year, everyone. We look forward to this being our best year at the school. I'm very happy with the work that Michael Walter put into our safety plan. There's been countless meetings and a lot of due diligence they put in to that. As the board knows, on Friday I met with 2 of the deputy commissioners on education to talk graduation requirements, and as Jen has been informing our faculty, they are sunsetting the Regents requirement within the next couple of years. Congratulations to Mr. Thiner and Mr. Brennan and our student council on running a great reindeer game. That was really similar to the beginning of the year activity, the Halloween activity. This one was equally as amazing. They were out in the community doing fun stuff, which I thought was great. Great job on our winter sports. A special shout out to our junior high girls volleyball team. Was it, I had 3 wins here, but was it 4 wins this past week?
4. Yeah.
4 wins this past week. So nice. Our boys varsity basketball had a couple impressive victories. And I look forward to seeing our girls and boys teams. I plan on going to 2 games this week to see them play, the boys and girls basketball. Our wellness committee meets tomorrow at 3. Just as a reminder to everyone, we're off next Monday, January 20th, in observance of Martin Luther King Day. And following that is Spirit Week from Tuesday to Friday, with culminating in our pep rally on Friday, 1/24. So I think some of that information went out today, but please keep an eye out for that, for those special days with your kids. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dolger. Okay, board member reports, if anyone has. We will start. Anthony's in. No? Okay.
Thank you, Mike and Walter. Great job. Oh, that's all.
Thank you. Dawn? Tracy? Nope.
I have nothing.
Margaret?
Kate.
Kate. I was looking at Margaret and saying, looking at you and saying Margaret.
Yeah, no, just judge the science fair. Everyone did great. Even the
It was a mess that day. Everybody started like breaking down crying.
What we're talking about
Was it
is, yes, it was me. At the end, there was a special exhibit of, and I always forget the name of the models. What is it?
Rube Goldberg.
Rube Goldberg models.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Not everyone did them. Just a small group of kids broke up in teams and did them. Did not have a lot of time to do it, and they technically all failed, but the important thing is that they presented these models to a handful of like actual professional scientists, and we were saying there you didn't fail and that this is literally the world of science, is that you try something, it doesn't work, you figure out why, and you try it again. And you don't give up. And I think it was actually really important exercise in learning how to fail and how to accept failure and how to then be like, okay, everything's fine, because it was pretty low stakes, but you guys really did great. I just want to say that. And yeah, participated in this science thing, and excited to see how that goes.
Thanks.
Some ideas were exchanged. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Okay, I have no report. We're on to visitor comments.
Yeah, actually, this is my daughter's first year in middle school, so I didn't know who you were.
Oh, okay. Where were you at back to school day? Yeah. Just kidding.
Thank you for her bringing home really incredible, cool stuff that I don't mind having in my house. It's not junk. I am so jealous that I didn't get to do that when I was a kid. I mean, the stuff she brings back, I'm like, this is so, it's displayed in the house. So
More to come.
Thank you. It's really cool. And I was talking to a teacher, and she was talking about, well, Mr. Convardi is getting Employee of the Month, and she's like, he really deserves it. So that's the word on the street. I was like, I don't know who that guy is. And now I agree. I really agree. So thank you.
Thank you.
The end.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to hear your comments. Sean Clark.
Duty, Sam. I
Yes.
need to lock up. I would like to echo that. Great pick. Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, Sean.
Obviously, you have a lot of fans here in the school. So tonight, good evening, everybody. I am here on behalf of the American Legion. I'm the post adjutant there. Commander Mundy sends his regards. He's currently coaching his way up at Smithtown, so fingers crossed on that. So kind of appropriate, I think I picked the meeting after you're diving into the budget. Obviously, we're on the heels of property tax season and whatnot, and I just want to make an initial, call it a presentation, or at least just bring some awareness here of something that our members have brought up to us. Unfortunately, our membership is dwindling year by year. Our median age is somewhere around mid-70s. A lot of retirees, older folks, fixed income. So something that's been brought up is property tax exemptions. So obviously there's like state exemptions like the STAR program, for people who are making certain income levels. And then we also have the local property tax exemptions. So the town has passed a local property exemption. So example, like fire and EMS is in a local exemption, and they have also passed one for veterans. The veterans one is kind of broken into 3 subcategories, depending on their service, either wartime, combat, or disability, which would be based off their VA disability rating. Depending on their service, they may be eligible for all 3 or only one. Each of them would have a different, exemption towards their assessed value. So
you're speaking,
oh, sorry.
So you're speaking on behalf of your membership?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
Sean, forgive me, but I had thought we had passed something like this already, but we did some research, and we actually passed something similar for the it's a local senior citizen tax exemption. So I'd be happy to work with you to get all the information to the board So
awesome, thank you. And I can answer some detailed questions. I can find out stuff. I've been working closely with the town assessor, Julie Knansky. She's been a huge help. She has a lot more answers than I do.
Sure. Do you know, did the town pass?
The town has passed it. They recently actually just unanimously voted to increase it to the maximum allowable limit. It hadn't been changed since 2016. I don't know if that's when it was initially instituted or not, but it hadn't been changed, and they recently passed that in the fall. So why I'm coming to you as a special tax district, the local exemptions have to be passed by each board individually.
Right.
So as it stands now, the county has the veterans exemption on the county taxes, the general town general fund, and the town taxes. They count it towards that. Currently, the school district and the library district do not include the veterans exemption, while they do have included the local fire and EMS exemptions. So that's currently in effect for the fire and EMS. Basically, what our members are requesting is that you take into consideration adopting the veterans exemption as well. I have some numbers that I've kind of pulled up. We have 123 members who are currently taking exemptions. And we're really not talking a lot of savings, but when you're talking about, you know, someone on a fixed income, $200 to $300 can, you know, that's groceries for a couple of weeks. So just based off of what the assessor did, hopefully my math is correct, it's at least in the ballpark. The average veteran savings, if the school had adopted it this year, would have been around $326. There's one or two outliers that bring that up a little bit. I mean, most veterans will see something closer to the upper 200s savings based off this exemption. With a total, I guess you'd say deficit, right? Because that money's got to come from somewhere, of about $46,600. So essentially that would have to be, you know, absorbed by the rest of the tax base. It's about 0.4% of the overall tax levy that would be redistributed. Again, the assessor is a great point of contact. I'm just basically trying to initiate the conversation. I expect you all to do your due diligence and you know, look into it and whatnot. But I don't know if you have any questions.
So what Sean is saying is that it's not like the budget, our budget has a $46,000 hole, and it's just reassessed among the 99.9% of citizens who are not veterans.
Correct. And
yeah, I'm glad you brought it to our attention too, because it hasn't been, I mean, it hasn't been discussed.
I thought we did it already, to be honest, Kathy.
My tenure here, and I'm here 10 years, so I'm happy to have the conversation start.
No, absolutely, and I think a lot of it, and I actually spoke to the library right before this. I honestly think it's just a matter of awareness. Everyone I've talked to has been super supportive of it, and it's just a matter of, oh, I didn't know that, or you know, or whatnot. Timing wise, you know, we're not asking you to rush anything, but if it were to be adopted for 2026, the deadline would be March 1st. Again, I don't know when your next meetings are. It probably only leaves you one more meeting. Again, no pressure. Obviously, we would like to help our members as quickly as possible. I'm more than willing to help answer any questions or anything necessary to help move the ball forward.
Yeah, I think Dr. Dolger is your point person, and just, you know.
I'll get you guys all the information as soon as possible.
And it seems like an everything.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sean.
Any other visitor comments?
I know I'm not a visitor, but so I forgot to add while I was talking about video games. It would not have been possible without the library helping us out. More specifically, the youth department with Sarah and Mary Feiner. It was awesome that they could help with our. We had it spread around like the activities, the break rooms, and just the setting up of everything. Like, huge help to them, and I think they deserve a pizza party.
A lot of work.
Okay. If anyone deserves a pizza party, it's our engineering. They're amazing partners to us here at Auditorium, so thank you for giving them a shout.
That's really thoughtful.
Yeah.
Not just because they're my coworkers.
Yeah, he's getting a slice, right? Okay, well, thank you, everyone. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Thank you, Kate. And Tracy.
/ Margaret.
We can say it was the same We're just trying to throw you terrible calls. It's okay, we are adjourned at 7:05. Thank you, everyone.